Between ages 16 to 22 years old, I genuinely had absolutely no fucking idea what I was doing with my life. I would wake up late, I would play video games all day, and then I would tell myself, don't worry Sam, you'll figure it out soon. Kind of like the same attitude that I had in school when I had homework. It's due next week, don't worry about it. It's due in 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days. Tomorrow. I would leave things to the very, very last minute. And most of the time I just wouldn't do it. I know. Guys, watch out, we have a bad man over here. And I wish I could kind of tell you guys that during this time, I was scared. Fuck, I'm 21 now and I don't know what I'm doing. That's usually the story that I hear. But truth be told, I genuinely just was so lost in the sauce that I did not give a single fuck at all. Maybe some of you guys can relate to that. I guess I'm making this video for younger Sam, who needs a little bit of a kick up the ass in that sense, because I didn't have any urgency. I didn't have any innate desire to figure things out. I didn't have a homework deadline, let's say. Because the truth be told, you should be a little bit afraid. I'm not saying that you should carry yourself with this scarcity of like, oh fuck, I'm not a millionaire, I'm gonna fall off, but you should at least really be thinking about it and experimenting. Because there's an alternate reality for me where I'm 26 years old and I didn't figure out what my skill was, the thing that I was going to pour all of my energy into, which is video editing. And that version of me, Lord knows where he would be right now, really. It's scary to even think. So I'm gonna tell you about the moment which changed this all for me, when I found out what my purpose was. And I don't say purpose as in like, right, that's it now, this is it for the rest of your life, but you need to have some sense of direction in life is what I'm saying. When you're directionless, that's when it's like the most stressful and worst periods of your life. I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and I was also really struggling with anxiety and depression to the point where I wasn't leaving the house. I didn't have a job or anything like that. But I had all of this spare time, I had all of this energy, and nothing to pour it into really outside of doing these silly YouTube videos that I was doing called shitpost compilations, where I'd basically play video games with my friends and I would record that gameplay and I would edit it into compilations of funny moments.
No way, he's in this room. Oh, that's to the left, to the left, to the left. You got him! You ever just see your trick?
And I always found that incredibly enjoyable. It's one of the only things which I truly found innate pleasure in doing during this very dark period of my life.
Hello?
I'm not letting go.
So I was doing these, I did hundreds of these as well, it's hilarious. They're all enlisted on my channel. And I was in a Discord call with my best friend, Adonis, and he says to me, well Sam, why don't you try to make some money, bro? That's probably a good thing that you should focus on. And Adonis was already making money online, doing motion design stuff. And he said to me, well Sam, you're quite good at what you do. You can actually charge money for this. You can actually get paid to do this. And right at the start, I was just like, no fucking way, man. Not good enough. No one's gonna pay me for this. The market's oversaturated. All sorts of beliefs which were completely debilitating my ability to just move forward and try. So for 9 months, I did not do a single thing. That is enough time to create an entire human person. I didn't do anything until one day I just cracked and I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose by just fucking trying. And that's when I started to sell my services online to video edit. Fast forward 2 years, I'm traveling the world. I'm making over $12,000 a month. I have access to multi-million-dollar figure networks of high performer men. My life has completely and utterly changed in every aspect. How awesome is that? I want that for you guys. So I got really lucky. I had an amazing friend looking out for me and pushing me forward. I know how lucky I am to have that, and I love Yanis to bits. We're still best friends today. We actually live only 15 minutes away from each other in Bangkok. So I guess I want to be your Yanis in your story now. I'm going to give you a few pointers to look out for when you're assessing what your pathway should be going forward. And I really hope it helps you find clarity on what it is you should be pouring your energy and your focus into. So, first of all, what leaves you energized when you do it? We're not necessarily just looking at things which we're good at, right? Because we can be really good at something, but if it doesn't leave you energized, if it doesn't fulfill you in that sense, there's actually not too much longevity with doing it, right? And this is a problem I find with a lot of online hustles, generally speaking. There's not really any thought for the longevity behind things. If you're gonna really move the needle and change your life, it needs to be something that you can see yourself doing over a longer period of time. You could pick up drop shipping and you could start making $20,000 a month. Awesome. But find it so boring that you just don't continue to show up and then you fall off. And this exact story, this anecdote I just gave you, is something that I've heard time and time again amongst my friends who have tried drop shipping. They do really well for a short period of time, but there's no longevity to it. What's the point in that, really? So what you want is a skill which leaves you energized. When you're doing it, you're actually enjoying the process. And this goes against this ultra masculine, just shut up and fucking do the work, you gay lord. I get it. It does go against that. But in my experience, if I didn't enjoy shredding timelines and the creative aspect of video editing, there's a 0% chance that I would have been as successful as I am now. Also, bear in mind that there's other aspects which can make something you actually innately enjoy not energize you. For example, I find psychology super interesting, right? So I studied it at college. The problem is college just sucked all of the fun and excitement out of psychology for me. I hated it. Likewise, if you're, for example, video editing and you're working with a client who you don't enjoy working with, that's gonna suck all of the fun out of your work. That doesn't mean though that it's a problem with video editing. It just means it's a problem with who you're working with. You'll notice in my story, I was already video editing before I actually began monetizing it. And I told you it's one of the only things that really innately filled my heart with joy. I've also always been a creatively inclined person, whether it was fucking playing Minecraft or, man, it's a funny story. I actually tried to make an entire film inside of Grand Theft Auto with a few of my friends back in the day. We had an entire film script. We filmed half of it, but then they announced the next GTA, which had better graphics. So we just said, oh, we'll put it on pause and then we'll start on the new version, but we never did. But there's so many like autistic little creative things that I've always innately found really interesting to me. So that's to say that all of this stuff leaves me very energized, okay? The next thing you want to look out for is what problems do people come to you to solve? Because this is one of the clearest indicators of value in the eyes of others. Every single high net worth guy within my network, if they have any video editor problems or if they need to hire a video editor, they think Sam Harborne. Maybe you don't have a super specific skill right now, but typically speaking, what sort of problems do your friends go to you for answers for? And you might have to extrapolate this a little bit. For example, they have a creative problem, they come to you. They have a more mechanical problem, a more analytical problem, they come to you. You can start to figure out how other people view you through the problems that they ask for your help with. There's also certain things that when you're talking about them, you're in a total flow state. And there's other things where you talk about them and you're like a bit clunky, like That's also a really good indicator of exactly this. So pay attention to the things which, when you're talking about, feel absolutely effortless to you. The third thing to look out for is what type of lifestyle that you want. For me, I wanted an agile lifestyle where I'm paid to create dope shit. Video editing fits that absolutely perfectly for me. I can just work on my laptop from Thailand on a beach, and I can just create awesome things. On the flip side, people who don't think about this, I'll give you a quick example. Guys who go into OnlyFans management, right? They think short term in the sense of, yeah, there's money there, I can do that. But what I've found is a lot of these guys, they're just stuck in a business model that they absolutely hate, micromanaging really catty women, you know? And it's just a complete fucking disaster. There's no point in building a skill if it's not tied to the type of lifestyle that you want long term. Think about what sort of lifestyle that you want, and then what sort of skill that you can develop can feed into that lifestyle and fit into it perfectly like a glove. The fourth thing to look out for is what type of personality are you? And I've kind of mentioned this already. Through extrapolating what sort of problems your friends come to you to solve, and also your own innate desires, you can start to figure out what your personality type is. So for me, I understand that I'm a very deep thinker. I'm quite an analytical, logistical guy, and I also thrive when I'm pouring my energy into something creative. Maybe you're an introverted guy. Maybe you don't belong in front of a camera, in front of a massive audience. Maybe you're an extroverted guy and you would actually love to be the center of attention on a stage, in front of a camera. You thrive when you're like that, right? Understanding yourself and where your strengths lie and where your weaknesses lie is going to really help you choose a skill which you can actually stick to long term. Because once again, if you don't have the longevity with the skill that you choose to pour your energy into, you don't have a shot at becoming top 1% in the world at that skill. It's as simple as that. There's guys who absolutely love building sales funnels, right? Even before they wake up, they're dreaming about a funnel. They wake up, they open up a spreadsheet and they're looking at the numbers and they're just fucking slowly jerking it. You know, they love it, right? If you're not that way inclined, if you're not really autistic about numbers, you're not going to be able to compete with that guy, okay? Maybe you can, but it's gonna be really, really difficult. And again, long term, you're just eventually gonna stop. Fifth is looking at who inspires you and picking the right mentor. So now that you have an idea of what excites you, what problems that you can solve, and also the life that you wanna look for somebody who already embodies that. So one of my issues in the editing space for me is that a lot of these guys, no offense, but a lot of them are just kind of boring, okay? They're introverted to the point where they aren't fun to hang out with, right? So that's actually been a goal of mine, to show the world that editing and creativity is really, really sexy and it's fun. So I honestly had a really hard time with finding mentors specifically for video editing. So I kind of expanded my worldview into just creativity in general, and I chose video editing as my canvas. And there's tons of creatives who are like really, really inspiring, awesome guys. But guys, when you're picking a mentor, you don't want to look at whoever's just popular, right? You want to look at how they treat their audience. You want to look at how they sell as well. Because there's guys who fill you with hope, and there's guys that make you believe in yourself. And then on the flip side, there's guys who say, you can't do this without me. You need me. You're a loser without me. And those guys are not good mentors at all. In fact, more likely than not, they're going to keep you trapped because they'll convince you that you're confused and lost without them. And it's not the case. A good mentor should consistently empower you, and they should give you clarity. So watch out for guys who do the opposite, because it can feel more comfortable following them because they will sort of role play as solving your problems. But the reality is they're just keeping you trapped. Okay. Now, of course, there is an element of, if you want to help someone, first of all, you need to highlight what their problems are. But just watch out for the extremities in these things. Think like, on the grand scale, does this person aim to empower me, or do they just confuse me? Are they consistent with their messaging, their values, their principles, or is this just a waste of time? Real mentors will not make you feel worse about yourself. They will empower you and they will unlock your potential within you. And mentorship's been super important all throughout history. To me, looking upwards and following people who have already done what I want to do, I've found really, really empowering on the most part. And also just really involving yourself in the skill that you're building, getting around a bunch of other guys who are doing that exact same thing has been an absolute game changer for me. You don't have to have everything figured out right now, okay? But you do need to start walking in a direction which excites you and energizes you. You need to be doing something. You need to be at least experimenting, okay? Overall, pick a skill. Follow someone who lives the life that you want to live, someone who empowers you, and then commit to mastery of that skill, even when it gets hard and even when it gets boring, because it will. Don't get stuck in this idea of like, oh, well, I have to find the perfect path first, because you're going to be just stuck over analyzing everything. It's much better to just go into something blindly, almost like turn your brain off and just be a bit of a retard max, if you will. It's better to just do that and give it a shot, and then if it's really, really not for you and you're not just coping, then just try the next thing. In conclusion, Clarity comes from action, not from overthinking. If you want to try video editing, which is a skill which has completely changed my life, then book in a call with my team below and we can have a chat. Video editing for me has been the absolute perfect skill to make money online and connect with amazing high net worth entrepreneurs, high performers, because I am quite creatively inclined. I used to love my Minecraft building and shit like that. I'm also generally a little bit more introverted, but I also have a pretty good EQ as well. So while I don't necessarily crave the spotlight, I actually do work quite well with people. I understand people, I understand audiences well, etc. Give it a shot is what I'm saying. If you're curious, at least book in a call and see if it's right for you. Check out the first link in the description, and I hope this video gave you some sense of clarity. If you have any further questions, then just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Anyway, take care, boys.